Hello everyone, my name is Kanipo with Makwa, Standing Bear Soda Tribe, Fishing Lake First Nation, Saskatchewan, Canada, Treaty 4 Territory, Anishinaabe. I am a 60 scoop survivor. I am a published author, two-time United States Swimming National Champion. And we kind of started this series. It's a kind of informational teaching series, Indigenous teaching series. Kind of spin off of we have a Facebook live every morning, and this is kind of like a more condensed, more focused in on specific teachings that you have asked in the live, and the live runs about an hour. So these are about 15, maybe 10 or 15 minute little segments, and where we really hone in on specific teachings. And what we're going to talk about today, I'm really excited. It's about the Sacred Center. What is the Sacred Center? What is it? Harmony and balance, the original sacred agreements, the ancient agreements, the original prayer. That's why we're here. Harmony and balance. And the closer we get to our sacred center, the more harmony and balance we will feel. It's a beautiful place. It is both physical and spiritual. It comes from the first fire at the center of the universe, the original prayer. It comes down to the womb of our mothers, the life givers. The song of the sacred center is boom, 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 boom. That is the first song that we ever heard. We're supposed to align that first song, align our thoughts and our prayers with the Sacred Center. And there's a couple preamble things that we have to talk about before. We just can't say, hey, I want to go to Sacred Center, right? That would be, that's not even really practical, right? Like if it's not practical, it's not spiritual, right? In any spiritual program path, we call the Indigenous path, the spiritual path, the Red Road. It is a road of wellness. It is a road that leads to all other roads. Everybody's welcome on the Red Road. It is a road for all. It is a road that unites. And what we do is we walk this road, we align ourselves with the sacred medicine. When I'm talking about medicine, right, this is one of the preamble things. So what are the sacred medicines, right? Like we live in a world that's seen and unseen, right? And the unseen would be the prayer world, right? We enter into a spiritual agreement, right? An agreement that we are all related, right? That's really the premise, right? We are all related. There's no hierarchy, there is no patriarchy, and really it looks a lot like this, right? The Sacred Center, right? The sacred circle, the sacred hoop. We live in a lot of sacred hoops, as my ancestors would say, like the tree nations, the standing nation. That is its own sacred hoop that is aligned with and in our sacred circle. The fish nations, the ones who teach us how to live in harmony and balance with the water, right? Everything is about harmony and balance. We really don't hear that enough from the colonial world. And I'm not even sure if I remember I'm hearing that at all. The first time I heard about it was about, 30 years ago when I first started walking the Red Road with my elder Tony Stonehawk. It's just like square peg, round hole type thing. That's what that colonial world is designed to do. They make us into square pegs and they're a round hole. It just never works out. It never fits. It's there to distract us. It's there to distort disinformation, right? That's why we feel out of sorts all the time. We got this thing, we're chasing bills, we're doing this, we're buying that, we're buying things we don't need, pharmaceutical, this, that. Now it's not fast enough type thing. Now, love is a contractual agreement. It's no longer about connect. It's like all this stuff, right? Right? That has nothing to do with our sacred center. The sacred center is about peace and serenity. And we can have peace and serenity anywhere. right? When we find our sacred center, we can be surrounded by chaos and still be that beautiful, peaceful place that we're supposed to be, in alignment with all those beautiful medicines out there, outside our door. 30 years ago when I first started walking the red road, Tony said, I want you to start praying every morning, right? And I'm like, and I had no idea what he was talking about. I'm just, because I come from a colonial thing. I come from the religious idea of praying. I have to pray to this guy Jesus, and the other things, Muhammad, and Allah, and Buddha, and all that. It's really confusing, right? It's really confusing. He said, no. That has nothing to do with it. Let's say a prayer of gratitude and thank you. Well, when we get beat up, and you're beat up from the colonial world, and like the way I was, 60 scoop survivor, that we know nothing but chaos and violence, right? And that's, when we're little, then we grow up, with these values and these colonial traditions that have nothing to do with life, right? He said, I want you to take this, I want you to say thank you every morning. I want you to say thank you every morning. You have been offered the greatest gift of life. Let's start there. We have to start somewhere. Let's start there. Let's start with a little gratitude, a little thank you. We take the tobacco, very traditional, one of 4 sacred herbs. We talked about it. We talk about it almost every little live here, right? So take a little pinch of tobacco, and we say thank you for life. And then the other half is just, since we've been offered life, now we're supposed to offer life back. How can I serve life? Right? And one of those things that we have to do, again, there's preamble things, is we have to learn how to listen, right? There's a couple steps here that we really have to learn how to do on a regular basis. We have to have discipline. We have to have courage to be disciplined, to be compassionate, to be gentle. It just doesn't happen overnight. And it's not like photosynthesis comes down and osmosis, and then there's all this happening, and then all of a sudden we just walk in the room and we're like, oh, okay, we're spiritual now. No, again, a price has to be paid. We have to put some skin in the game. We have to show up, right? We have to step out of our comfort zone, right? Because we develop these unhealthy comfort zones as we are living in that colonial world, right? Well, that comfort zone, it does not conducive to, aligning with these beautiful medicines, right? And there's so many medicines here, right? That help align us, right? That help us along the way. They're here to guide us. They are our partners. They are our allies. This is what we are supposed to do. We are Earth. And we're supposed to line up with those gentle powers that we are Earth. And when I do I travel all over the world, and this is one of the greatest teachings that I have ever learned. There was an elder once that said, just like this, we are intertwined and overlapping. We are all both seen and unseen. That's a good starting point. That's a good understanding. The illusion of separation, and when we have to dismiss the illusion of separation in order for us to gain some insight, to hear, understand, to connect to these very beautiful medicines full of tobacco. So these very beautiful medicines. And every medicine has a voice. Every medicine has a song. The tobacco has a song. The sunrise has a song. The birds obviously have a song. We have a song. And not all language is spoken, right? Not all language is spoken. There's a language of silence which speaks so much. Mother Earth speaks in all languages. She's begging for a relationship with us. She speaks in silence. She can listen and speak at the same time. That's the beautiful, powerful thing here, right? One of those preamble things is, sitting in a sacred Wonka pit in Soto. Wonka pit is to sit in a sacred way, and that's the setup, man. We have to show, that's showing up. That's part of being all in here. We have to be all in to find our sacred center. We just can't show up half the time and expect, full-time results, right? We have to be all in. And, I get it. We live in a colonial world. There's jobs, there's this, there's that. But when you're here, as you're listening to me, let's be all in, right? Let's try it now. Let's try it for the next 10 minutes. Let's be all in, right? I love you. If no one said that they love you today, I love you very much. And this is the way it gets right here. If it doesn't get right here, it doesn't go to our families. It doesn't go to our communities. It doesn't go to our nation. So let's, the way to get all in is to be all centered right here. Focused and centered on those words that are not only coming to me, but through me and for you. This is a demonstration of how the buzz. Part of this is my teaching. Part of this is the way I work. But the beautiful thing is this is all flowing from that great creator, that great beautiful thing of life. That's why we're here. So let's kind of switch gears again. So, we're talking about listening, right? A lot of us don't even know how to listen. We spent 20 minutes talking about it in my channel. Just go through. It's called Sacred Listening. So take some time, go check that out, and then come back here, and then, okay, so now we know what sacred listening is. In short, we have to listen with all five senses. I explained that in the other video. We have to be, that's part of being all in. We can't listen. The colonial world is we're listening to you and then we're listening to somebody else. We're listening here and then we're listening to respond. Then we're listening, but we're listening to be right. Okay, I need to be right, and I have to explain to you how I'm right. And that's a distraction. We distract each other from the truth all the time. The truth is found in the medicines. The peace and serenity comes with the medicine that we are in recovery. This is the same medicine that works to finding our sacred center, right? And living that sacred center, right? Everything begins with spirit. Let's begin with the spirit. Let's begin with prayer. Let's open up, let's open up this circle. Let's open up our day centered in prayer. Let's focus on that. And let's put a lot of life into our prayers. We're supposed to live the prayer. We're not supposed, it's not a one and done that just says, hey, look, okay, I said my morning prayers and now I can like yell at the donut guy, right? Because he's having a bad day, right? Or the clerk at a convenience store or the library or whoever, co-worker, right? Wife, boyfriend, husband, auntie, uncle, they may be having a bad day, but that shouldn't shake us from our sacred center, you see. So we're going to slow it down a little bit. We're just going to take... The medicine brings us, one of the first things that the medicines do when we sit with them. We're going to light this up right now just to kind of show you. Like if you have any sage there, let's bring some sage. Let's bring some sage, right? Let's light some sage off. Let's offer in a good way. We say thank you to the sage. Say thank you to this little guy here. Thank you. And what it does, and really all the medicines work like this. It brings us into the now. It brings us into the moment. So we're not in yesterday. We're not in tomorrow. We're not thinking about the mistake yesterday. We're not thinking about any missteps. The medicine says, we can help you, but you have to be here right now. That's just the beginning. That's why we offer that tobacco, because it brings us in. Right? It's not only our offering, but it brings us into the right now. It's a tangible physical of our spiritual prayer. spiritual, not just tobacco, not just a place, not, medicines just aren't medicine. Like, my name is Wayne. I'm not just Wayne, right? I'm part of so many other sacred circles. You are part of so many other sacred circles, and most of those sacred circles, they have nothing to do with the two-legged. They have nothing to do with CNN or Fox News or BBC or Global News or whatever. Then the majority of our bodies are consistent of, actually, our bodies are made of Mother Earth. Let's just clear that up right now. So we come from Mother Earth. Let's connect to Mother Earth, right? Instead of distorting. There's a narrative out there of separation, right? And again, that narrative looks like, let's just call it what it is. The colonial world is based on being adversarial, right? I have to be right, you have to be right, Democrat, Republican. Okay, that's a clear model. That's a model that just doesn't work, right? Up here in Canada, they have conservative liberal. That just doesn't work, right? Because when you have sides, there's nothing unity there, and if there's no unity, there can be no sacred center. Right. So let's start off with our own personal sacred center. Let's align ourselves with those beautiful, beautiful medicines. Right? When we hold the medicines, that brings us closer to the sacred center. When we pray with the medicine, that brings us closer to the center. When we walk with the medicine, that we take that medicine into our heart. We talk about it all the time. The sunrise. Let's just start really basic here. The sunrise. We face the east, we say thank you. We give offerings of love and gratitude and thank yous. What we're supposed to do is it's a return. There's a lot of things. There's a returning of the ancestors, returning of the light, returning of life, returning of love. What we're supposed to do with that is to carry that medicine with us throughout the day. Like, it's not just it's not just a TV show that we click on. Oh yeah, that's nice, and walk away from it. No, we're supposed to come here. We're supposed to appreciate. We're supposed to honor, love, respect. Have the strength and courage to sit with, to talk with. We're supposed to listen to the sounds of the sunrise. We're supposed to listen to the sounds of everything going on. These are healing. These are ways. These are partnerships and allies that we're supposed to use to find our sacred center. When we understand this, there is an alignment there. The New Agers call it leveling up. Well, whatever it is, connection. We know there's a life force out there, and now we're moving towards that life force. And the greatest thing is, we can spend 100 years moving toward this life force, and we will know just a little. But the thing is, what we know, we will know better. Peace and serenity. There was a time in my life where I would have given anything for peace and serenity. And it wasn't until the red robe that I found it. And these are tangible, practical, spiritual things that will bring me a good life. And those are the physical. Let's talk about the spiritual teachings, like humility. Spending time and honoring and saying thank you to the sunrise. That's a place of humility. When we say thank you, that's a place of humility. Thank you for another day. That's a place of humility. We have to walk with this humility. As one of my brothers said, the 4 agreements. Take nothing personally, right? It's just kind of, that's a hard thing to happen, and that's a hard thing to do, right? That's hard medicine, right? Nobody said it was easy, right? A price has to be paid, right? But we can still walk through these in a really gentle, beautiful way. We can have disagreements and still be friends. We can pray for our enemies. These are some of the ways to the sacred center. Praying for our enemies. Addiction, right? It's the same thing over and over. And what are you willing to do to find peace and put a price? Put a value on peace and serenity, peace of mind. Alignment with that beautiful life force. We don't know the value of that because it's priceless, right? Well, this takes a few beautiful things, right? It takes a willingness. Hey, look, I just don't like, we fight everything, before the Sacred Center. We drink, we do drugs, we womanize, we, all this other stuff, right? These codependence, we gamble, all these outrageous things that really take life away from our life. We're trying to add life to our life. We're trying to add life to our prayers. We're trying to add life. We're trying to add life, right? And, how do we do that? There's a few simple, beautiful things that we can do that done on a daily basis will change our life. And once our life is changed, and then our perceptions change, right? Gratitude for life. Again, this is a recurring theme. This is where a lot of people, there's a place of resistance there. There's 86,000 seconds in a day. Take 60 of those and say thank you. Right? You're not that busy. You can take a little pinch of tobacco. You can face east in the morning. Just say thank you. Right? That's a practical way to find your sacred center. Sounding, we can go to indigenous ceremonies. We can do the rain dance, the sun dance. We can do all these things, right? But if we don't take these ceremonies with us, if we don't take our morning prayers with us, then what good does it do? If we don't walk with our prayers, if we don't walk with humility, if we don't walk with our truth, right? There's a lot of us that are wounded out there. I get that. I get that from the colonial society, right? There's a lot of trauma. There's a lot of abuse. We're supposed to heal and learn from that, right? I'm a genocide survivor. I identified as that for a long time, right? But the closer that I got to my sacred center, it is now in that neutral position where, I can talk about the abuse and I don't crawl up in a ball for a week and cry, right? I can talk about it now. It's put in that beautiful neutral position, and now it enables me to come and do something like this and tell you that, look, there is hope. The message is hope, right? And the message is connection. The message is love. The message is truth, right? The message is in the listening. The message is in the strength to show up on a continual basis. The message is to walk with these prayers, to honor these prayers, to see through the illusion of separations, to see through that colonial mess that they've created, and we can come here and we can create a beautiful, powerful life, right? And the great thing is the medicine wheel tells us that we can start every morning. We can start anew, and really, if we really want to break that down, we can end our old life with our last breath, and we can begin our new life with our next. That's how incredibly beautiful and powerful life is, that we can start over again, over and over again, and it's okay not to be okay. We can work through that. We have places and ceremonies, women's circles and men's circles, and all these ceremonies to go through to help us go through these. There's individual teachings that we just have to sit with ourselves. The place of humility, really looking at our truth. If we're drinking, we have to take a look at that, right? We have to take a look of why we're drinking, what we're doing, and all that too. This place, this earth is a beautiful, beautiful place. Turn off CNN and Fox News and all this and just come here. Come here and sit with the medicine, sit with Mother Earth. Mother Earth is begging, the medicines are begging for a relationship with you. And it's right at our fingertips. And nobody really talks about it. So let's bring it up here. Sit with the medicine. Show up to these circles. Show up here. Find me on social media, Wayne Snow Group, Facebook. Go there. Sit in. Just sit in. Just give yourself a chance. I love you. I want you to have a really good, beautiful life. That's what I love you means. I don't want anything from you. I just want you to live a really good, beautiful, powerful life. The way my elders showed me how to live a really good, beautiful, powerful life. My name is Kanipa Whit Makwan, Standing Bear. I'm going to close it out with a minute of a meditation. It's not cooperating, but you get the gist. My name is Kenny Pawin Macwa, Standing Bear. If no one said that, they love you today. I love you very much. Let's have a great day, everyone.